I'd like to walk you through how the step-by-step process of creating a lead generation advertisement. So what's exactly required in detail? And I guess the reason why you want to get really good at this process of creating a lead generation ad is because it makes the phone ring. And if you can make the phone ring, everything else continues on from there. So it's probably one of the most critical skills in business is getting the phone to ring, and this is at the essence of the essence of it. So the way most people advertise is not based on what I'm about to explain to you. So if you take a flick through the local newspaper or anything like that, you're going to see. Let me just pick up a copy of the local phone directory I've got sitting next to me, and I'm looking in the funerals. See, I happen to turn to the funeral section. So what I'm seeing on one of them is the company name. On another one, the company name at the top. Here's a removalist. Another one, company name at the top. Another one, Australia's most trusted removalist. Another one, the company name on the top. Another one, let us help you. Interstate to anywhere, get a quote from us. Another one, the company name at the top. You'll notice something very, very common amongst a lot of advertisements. They've got the company name at the top. And why is it important to have the company name at the top? Well, it's important for you, for your ego, and probably for your mum. She probably loves seeing your company name at the top. But for everyone else who hasn't heard of you, who doesn't know who you are, they really don't care about your company name. They're all tuned in to a radio station called WIIFM. So what does WIIFM stands for? It stands for What's in It for Me. And this is the way you've got to think when it comes to your customer base. Is that they're all interested in what's in it for me. So the number one thing you need to be asking when you're creating a lead generation advertisement is what's in it for my customer? What's my customer actually going to get out of this? What are the core benefits that they're going to get out, of this, of this process? So, and if you're interested in, let's just imagine you want to find someone to do some cleaning. Does it help to have the company name at the top? No. But if they had something like, if they had something related to the benefits you're looking for, we'll clean your house, we'll clean your house perfectly, guaranteed, or it's free, or something like that, that's much more likely to grab your attention and get your attention. So that's the number one thing is get that headline right. And really, to get that headline right, it all boils down to think about what your customers want, and then make sure you're featuring that in your headline. So think of the benefits, think of the problems they're suffering for, and make sure you're putting something in there that's grabbing their attention. Imagine, one of the things I like to imagine when I'm writing a headline is that I'm walking out into a group of to do a seminar, and a group of my target market is sitting there in front of me. And what are the exact words that I'm going to say to instantly make them sit up and go, I've got to listen to everything this guy had to say. Imagine you're the last speaker for the day, everyone's tired, they want to go home. What do you have to say to really grab their attention, get them to sit up and listen and hang off your every word? And that's really what you want to be doing with your lead generation ad. And I can guarantee you, if you walk out into that seminar room and you say, Bill's cleaning, that's not going to grab their attention. Okay, so really think of it like that. So the reason the reason lead generation ads are really great is they're number one, they don't cost too much. You'll generally have them as small ads. When I say lead generation ads, just keep into context. It doesn't matter if this ad's going online or if it's going offline. There's obviously different places where you can place this ad. A simple Google AdWords can be a lead generation ad, which sends them to a lead generation website. So there's different ways that you can do it. You can also have you can have it in the newspaper. You can have it as junk mail. You can have it as a direct mail to a specific target list. A lead generation ad can fall into all of those different contexts. So that's and the benefit of it is. Yeah, it can often be a small ad that moves people onto developing a relationship and moves people onto developing trust. So a very simple way and one of the things I always like to start with is to start with the problem, because people are generally moved more by avoiding a pain or getting rid of a pain than they are of gaining a pleasure. And I want to give you an example of that. If you doubt that in any way, then I want to give you an example of that. So imagine you're lying in bed at 2 a.m. in the morning and you get a phone call from me. And I call you up and I say, listen, you obviously know me. I'm a friend of yours or a colleague of yours. And I say, listen, there's a really good deal on Barney's tyres at the moment. You can get a great deal on Barney's tyres. You can actually, if you go down there tomorrow, you can get 4 tyres for free. No strings attached. Barney's tyres, he'll give you 4 tyres. He'll give you 4 tyres free. You've got to go and get these 4 tyres. They're amazing tyres. You've got to go and get them. And now, if I called you at 2 a.m. in the morning with that news, you would probably think that, old Bywood has gone a bit loony. You'd think Bywood is, he's off the trolley and, he needs to get a life. Or that somehow I've got some deal going with Barney's tyres or something. So, I wouldn't be strengthening my relationship with you. However, if I called you up at 2 a.m. in the morning, think about how you would react differently. If I said, listen, it's really important you listen to this. Right now, your garage is open, and there's 2 guys, and they've taken off the tyres off your brand new car, and they're throwing it in. They're about to throw them all into their van and race off with them. What's your reaction now? What are you thinking when you hear that? My bet is that your reaction is very, very different. My bet is now you're grateful to me. You're thinking, old Bywood, he's looking out for me. He's looking out for me. He wants to help me. So it's a very different reaction to that. But it's 4 tyres. 4 tyres. In the first instance, it's your opportunity to gain 4 tyres. In the second instance, I'm showing you how not to lose 4 tyres. And so always keep that in mind with your advertising and your marketing, is that people will do much more to avoid a pain than what they will to get a gain. So always keep that in mind. So with that in mind, let's just start with the problem. This is one of the reasons we start with the problem, first. So in terms of the problem, let's pick it's probably easiest to pick some sort of a business and apply that specifically to a business. Let's say bathroom renovators. So I've just turned open a page, and let's say bathroom renovators. Okay, so you've got a lead generation ad that you want to place for bathroom renovators. So you could start out with something simple. If it's in now remember, your ad's probably going to be different. Is going to be different if someone's looking you up versus if you're getting them cold. So if your ad's going in the local newspaper or you're sending it out as junk mail, then people aren't looking for you. So you're going to have a different type, of advertisement. So whereas if they are looking for you, like they're looking you up in a phone directory, or they're looking you up on Google, once again, it's going to be it's going to be a different type of ad because the customer is in a different headspace. So it's going to be a different type of ad and different type of angle. So, but for this, let's just imagine they're not looking not looking you up. So you could have an ad along the lines of, you could have you could have a line. I would probably go with something along the lines of, I'm just thinking, if I was a bathroom renovator, I would almost be attacking the angle of, build the growth of your business as a bathroom renovator. So, I mean, not as a bathroom renovator, and not of your business. Build the value of your home with bathroom renovation. So, one of the things, the first thing that comes to me is advertising, and this is another thing you need to look at with a lead generation ad, is where to advertise. But is advertising where home sellers are looking, or people with homes are looking. So I'd be looking at, the real estate section of the daily newspaper is probably a really good place to look. So whenever the big real estate section comes out, and that might be on a Saturday, or that might be on a particular day of the week for your area. So with a bathroom renovation, you'd say homeowners. How to boost the value, and you could do a blind ad. The value of your property by $50,000. And I don't know if this is accurate or not, but you do some sort of a blind ad there, and then you could start off with a problem. So you could say something along the lines of, would you like, you paid a lot, you put a lot into your property. You put a lot into your property, but will you get it back? So we're going to start with the problems, but will you get it back? There's nothing worse than selling your home. For less than what it's worth when you've thrown so much time and energy into it. Now, one of the things with bathroom renovations, for instance, is that from my understanding, like bathrooms and kitchens and paint jobs and that sort of thing, are the things which add the most value to a home. And I'm zoning in on bathroom renovations just because, as I'm doing this, think about how this applies to your business. I find that being more specific actually allows us to really get into it rather than being more generic and explain it more fully. So you're going into it, and that's why. So we can say something like, that's why I've created a special report. That's why John Jones, expert in adding value to homes, has created a special report. Everything you need to know, and it might be a special report, what to renovate to add $50,000 or whatever it is to the value of your home, to the value of your, and then you can put your suburb, so the value of your area home. And what you've got there is you've opened it with a problem, you've sort of aggravated that problem, and then we've provided a solution, a very clear solution, and the solution you can find just by getting your hands on this, on this special report. And what you could also do, that's why John Jones, expert in, so you could add a bit more credibility there for John Jones, if you liked, and John Jones is you. So that's why John Jones, who's an expert in adding value to homes for over 23 years, who has been featured in all of these major publications, has created a special report that shows you how to do that. You could also include a photo of John Jones at the somewhere within the ad, and have a little bio. It's always good to have a little bio underneath the photo explaining what John, who John is and the benefits John can offer, and all of that sort of, all of that sort of thing. Because in terms of the advertisement, generally people will look at the headline and the subheadline. They'll look at the photo and they'll look at the caption underneath the photo. So you can also include some of that, those details there. To help you get more customers, I'm giving away a free gift to everyone who watches this video. It's a brand new guide called 7 Ways to Get More Traffic and Customers, which includes a swag of cheat sheets for getting results fast. Download it for free by clicking the link in the description below this video or visiting moretrafficandcustomers.com.